Hello, welcome back to Otter Pop Culture, and today we're going over the second album by slowthai called TYRON. So, I got into him a little bit late. I got into his single called Gorgeous that came out in 2019 for his first album called Nothing Great About Britain that came out in 2019 as well. And that one was more which is I went backwards after a while and listened to that album too before I got into this one. But I think the song that clicked me officially into him was the Disclosure song, My High, and it was his verse just killed it, and it came in in the most like vicious way, and it was amazing, and I was completely hooked on. I was like, who is this person? Oh, I've seen this person before. Okay, let me go into his actual album his first album before I go into his new album, which is coming up soon. So here I am. So the first album was very political. It talks about Brexit. It talks about Theresa May and her tenure as a PM, and so it was very, very, very political in the best way. And then we lean into this one. I feel like it's more about him specifically, more about his personal life, hence his actual name being as the title of the album. I have to say, I was completely shook over the whole album. And this is really difficult for me to say because I usually find some type of like issue inside of the album, especially albums where it just like, especially when albums are very, very wordy, so it goes through like a long, like, especially albums that also I don't really know what they're saying. And this one, I definitely got the gist. There's some parts where I was like, I don't know what that means, but an easy look it up, and got the term, got the slang, and it was completely amazing. The beats, the production, the things that he talks about his mental health, his youth, his growing up in drugs and abuse, and just kind of how that reflects to how he is now, and just also just how the world works as a POC himself, and just how the world just kind of just, and all well, in general too, and just how the world doesn't really react the way that you want it to all the time. So I think that's a whole thing where you see him kind of go between like being very pissed over the idea of how things are going to being kind of just accepting slash I understand this is where it's going, but I have to keep going because I can't let this kind of stop me. To also where we turn into going into I Tried, where the titles go from capital letters to lowercase letters, and it just, you definitely feel the change into the second half of the album where it goes into more about his own struggles and who he is and directly him. The first half of the album is more him, kind of where his anger stays, where his pieces where he's just like, I'm amazing. Whatever I'm doing is amazing, and I don't really care what you say, kind of thing. And just kind of just small pieces, and then it goes into more of what he thinks and what he actually feels and how things happen to him. Like Terms talks about that when it comes like I woke up and came to terms with it. No matter what they say, they get my words twisted. And this one is very deep. It talks about a lot about his like the pain that he goes through and the stuff that everything, how the world sees him and how he has to navigate between that stuff while trying to figure out how to be his authentic self without trying to lean into what people want out of him. And I think it's really, really interesting. Going into some of the songs I really like, which is pretty much all of it. Like Cancel's amazing with Skepta. He kills it. I think I need to get myself into Skepta because he is amazing. He has great flow. He has great just bars for days. And I love the music video from Cancelled, this is the final single before the album came out. And he had this like Candyman outfit and he looked so good. Oh my god. Oh, there it goes. I was completely shook over the idea of what was happening. I don't know why my phone started ringing in that direction. So anyway, but yeah, I really loved it. I thought it was so amazing. I thought his flow matching with slowthai's flow was amazing. Going into the other one, like at ASAP Rocky, I did not expect him to be in this, but here he is in Mazza, which is Mazzaline, which is supposed to be when something's cool. Like, oh, that's so Mazzaline. Oh, that's Mazzaline, or Mazza, or whatever pieces, whatever word fits perfectly for whatever situation. And I think that's what this, and I know that's what this means because I did a little research while I was doing it. I really like that. I love Vex. I love What. I love Dead. I love Play with Fire. Like, everything's amazing. And going into the very, very last songs, the last three, actually no, last four songs, just take me away. Just completely take me away. NHS was the most, I feel like, political one he talks about, where he kind of gives you the idea that, like, which is NHS stands for National Health Service, which goes on in the UK, and it's pretty much, I think he's pointing out the flaws in it and how the systematic way that it works and doesn't technically work for a lot of people, or the things that it doesn't look over technically, but yet there's a day where they're supposed to go to, there was a day where, like, the British went over to the office of NHS and started clapping for them. It's supposed to be some appreciation of them, but it seems like he's pointing out that there's certain things that aren't going well. That aren't going well because we're not looking at it, because we're not specifically staring at directly for what it actually is. We have this facade that we're putting on it to make it seem like there's nothing wrong. As he says with a lot of metaphors in this, he's like, you'll always be chubby if you suck in your tummy when you're staring into the mirror. Pretty much saying, embrace the flaws that you have and take that in, because if you don't embrace it, you'll always have that illusion of what's going on, and you'll never be able to fix your flaws or fix what's wrong with you, nor would you know what's wrong with you at all in the first place, because you're ignoring it. Another piece that he says we want them all until we have them happier with rations. I think with people, I think what he's saying in that is that people want all these things. They want, but when they have it, it doesn't mean as much to them as when they have it then. You know, they take it for granted, and then, but it seems like they like the game of having pieces of things getting sent to them, because it maybe is half because they feel like they deserve that, or half it's just like that fun, weird sadistic direction that says, this feels good to suffer in this space, I guess. Like, it seems like what he says, like, we're satisfied with them, with mediocrity, and when we know we can have more, you know? So yeah, I really love that one. That was one of my favorites, best, like, top favorite songs, really going against Cancelled. Cancelled hits me hard. Like, I love it. ADHD, love the song. It ends perfectly. He literally just walks out the studio. Like, it feels like the album ends when he is done, and he says, I'm gone, and the album stops. I love that. I think it's so great. I feel like this album is so it just feels like it's made so nicely and so organized, and it's just so amazing. I really love it. I'm very shocked. I'm very shocked and very happy to see an album that actually, like, pretty much all the songs on it. I'm gonna just say this and just give it a 10 out of 10. It's complete, easily 10 out of 10. Leave a comment below, tell me what you thought. If you know him, if you don't know him, please get into him. It's really great. I suggest definitely going in order with the Nothing Great About Britain. Start with that one first. Get to know how his stuff goes, and then go into TYRON, because I feel like this one, it takes you even deeper, and it feels like a sequel to the first one. So please go into that. That's pretty much it. Tell me what you thought. If you like the album, some of your favorite songs, do you have a favorite song into it too? And if you like this video, please hit a like button and subscribe, and hit the notification button too, so you can get more of my videos. I feel so good that I came back after almost 2 weeks, coming up to 2 weeks of having that break. So I'm glad to be back right now, and it feels like it definitely is working. I'm feeling much better and confident about this direction of doing these videos. So thank you for your patience with watching me kind of play around with the video editing and how I do my videos and everything. So thank you so much for watching, thank you so much for your patience, and I will see you all in the next video.